Hey, what's going on everyone? MXM here, and in this video I'll be going through the basics of the Engineer class in Deep Rock Galactic, going over the basic loadout that I personally use and the Engineer playstyle. So let's get it started. So let's get started with the loadouts. As the primary weapon we use the shotgun. We'll start off with the overstuffed magazines, increasing our magazine size and reducing the amount of times that we have to reload. And we do not use the increased fire rate here because we'll go for the full auto later down the line. Second, we get the expanded ammo bags, making sure that we have more ammo to carry with us, and also so we call in less supply drops. As the third one, we get the quick fire ejector to make sure that we have as minimal downtime as possible reloading our weapon, so we can make sure to keep firing. And the fourth one is a tungsten coated buckshot, making sure that we're able to deal with lightly armored targets like armored grunts. Then the last one, the bread and butter, is the minor adjustments. The fully automatic upgrade, it's definitely the bread and butter, is the go-to. Increases your fire rate dramatically and also prevents you from having to click your mouse button a bunch of times. So let's go into the 40mm personal grenade launcher. We start off with the HE compound for the increased area damage. And the reason why we do this is because you can get the other two upgrades later down in the tech tree, as you will see. Then next we'll get the expanded ammo bags, which you could have gotten into the first one as well. And the reason why you're getting this, of course, is for the increased amount of ammo and increased amount of 40mm that we can keep shooting at the enemy. We're not getting any increased payload because we already got it in the first line, and the high velocity grenades are kind of useless if you ask me, especially once you get used to the drop that your grenade launcher has. It's completely fine to just not have this perk. Then on the third line we get the incendiary compound as an increased damage over time round. Most of the time you're going to be firing your 40mm at groups of enemies instead of like armored enemies, so that kind of defeats the purpose of the pressure wave, and this incendiary round gets an extra bit of damage over time onto that pack of enemies. Then on the fourth one we have nails and tape for the increased AoE damage. The first one, the homebrew explosive, is too like iffy. It's you're rolling the dice every single time and you want to have consistent damage output, and by doing that we just increase the area of effect. Gives you a more consistent damage output. The concussion blast is kind of, it doesn't add too much, so that's why we go for nails and tape. And the last one we get the spiky grenade. It deals some extra some direct damage when you hit somebody on the target. It's the best one there is in my opinion, because the proximity to the trigger might mess up your shots if you have one single grunt that's in the way for your round that's flying towards like 5 others. It might detonate on the single grunt and on the group that you. So next up is the turret. We start out with the LMG Mark II modification, which increases the damage and range of your turret, and also saves you the headache of having to babysit two separate turrets, which you would have to do with the other upgrade. The next up is the quick deploy. Sometimes you just have to slap it down quick, and it also saves you some time, which you can be spent on mining minerals, for instance. The ammo count on the turret already is pretty good as of base, and the refill time is also pretty good, so I don't see any reason why you should get the other two upgrades. Then next up, the third one is the hardened round. The turret does not target weak spots specifically, and thus getting this upgrade prevents you from losing damage against armored targets, which outweighs all the other upgrades that you have in this row. Then lastly, we have the defender system. It greatly increases your turret damage, however it does require you to put a little bit of thought on how you position your turret, because it only has a 180 angle from which it can fire. But more on the positioning of your turret later in the playstyle guide. Next up is your personal terraforming tool, also known as your platform gun. It's pretty straightforward. First off, you start with expanded ammo bags, because platforms, you'll be shooting a lot of platforms and you'll be using this gun a lot as the engineer, so get the expanded ammo bags. More platforms is better. Then the second one, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, there's only one option here, so you can't do a lot more. And then the last one, expanded ammo bags. Once again, you're going to be shooting platforms, lots and lots of platforms, so make sure that you get this upgrade. It's really going to help you out. Then a quick D2, which is applicable for every single class if you ask me. Get the plasma buster as your grenade. It's a good AoE grenade, does a lot of damage and cleans up groups of grunts or like smaller enemies quite quickly and quite easily. The lure and the proximity mine are kind of not worth it in my opinion. This is just the best grenade there is in the game right now. So, and now we've arrived at the last piece of the loadout, which is your rig, your armored rig. So first off, we start with the improved generator, so your shields start to regenerate sooner. The reason for this is shield damage is only temporary, it recharges, while your health point damage is more permanent. So we want to get those shields back up as quickly as possible and prevent real HP from being lost. Now the second one is the overcharger. Once again, it's the same theory that applies at the first bit. Make sure that your shields have more juice to them, so you take less damage on your actual health, which is more permanent and lost than your shields are. And the fourth one, hazmat system, quite self-explanatory. It's the only option there is, so you might as well get it. And then the last one is shockwave. The reason why I take shockwave is because it's a constant damage. It's a guaranteed damage output when you use this. While the other ones, like the static discharge, has a chance of stunning nearby enemies. Once again, chance. So there's a number of RNG in here. Bless RNGs if he's here, but you don't want to be throwing dice rolls. You want constant damage, in my opinion. The last one, the breathing room, that you're temporarily invulnerable after being revived. Sometimes you get a little bit tongue twisted. You know what happens. It doesn't really come into play a whole lot. The only way it helps you is if you would be getting up in the middle of a sticky situation, but then again, preferably your team wants to clear out the way first, for instance, before they start helping you back up. So, once again, get the shockwave. I think you get the most bang for your buck if you grab this upgrade. So now that the loadout part is wrapped up, let's continue on to the playstyle. There we go. As the engineer, you have three main roles. Your initial role is to support your scout and team using platforms. You see minerals on the scout can reach with his grappling hook? Platform, just dunk it right down. The same applies to minerals that are a little elevated on walls. Shoot a platform and help your fellow miners reach your spoils. It's that simple. Use your platforms. Okay, so what's going on, bud? Keep dunking on platforms, chat. That's all we gotta do. And on to your second role as the engineer. You are the team's personal terraformer. Your job is to shape the caves to your desire by a quick draw of your platform gun. Track through which teammates or resources can fall. Platform it shut, just seal it shut, just like some foam. Need to get to the other side and no zipline available? Make a bridge using platforms. You can shape the cave in any way you want using your platforms. You are the artist, and the platform gun is your brush. Oh, I got fucking grabbed again. The final role for you as the engineer is overwatching areas. Use your turrets to guard and keep eyes on areas you can't watch or expect enemies to come from. Keep in mind when using the defender system on your turret, you need more thought in your placement. Please make sure to back of the turret. The back of the turret is facing a wall, so you utilize the full potential of your turret, or that you are standing right behind your turret to cover the rear area. That's a dead zone for the turret. Let's push up. Let's go. Let's get him, boys. So that covers the basic loadout and playstyle for the engineer. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for future content. I also stream on Twitch Tuesday through Sunday. Lastly, have a great day, and I catch you guys in the next one. Yeah, let's recall the sentry here.